Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This video is the first one of the series called Choosing That Perfect Main for BFA, where I go over all of the different classes, do some dungeons and talk about what changed. Hopefully that way we'll find that perfect main for BFA, but as you can already guess by the title of the video, it's not going to be the mage. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more WoW videos. I had chosen the mage as a main for Legion all the way back at the end of WoD. I was playing Fire because I really liked the fast-paced gameplay. In Legion I started out playing a Fire Mage the first two raid tiers, and after it got nerfed I started playing Frost followed by Arcane. Just to keep things short, I played all of the 3 specs at a mythic level, so yeah, I'm pretty familiar with all of the 3 specs the mage has to offer. I never pick and choose a main only because the class has insane damage output, as these classes are probably the ones that do get nerfed with some kind of hotfix fairly early on in the expansion. In this video I'll be talking about all of the 3 specs, the minor changes Blizzard made, which are very minor, and of course the gameplay. In general, Mage is a class that has seen almost no changes to their talents and rotation. Therefore I will only show you guys the talents that have changed. Talent-wise, it looks like Blizzard is choosing the easy way out, where in BFA the artifact abilities, traits and legendaries we lost are now talent choices. What a bad idea. But I'll talk more about that later in the video. Let's start with Frost. Wow, okay, so where to start? Personally, I think that the BFA Frost Mage can be best described as an exact same copy of the current Legion Frost Mage with even more pruning of abilities. Let's say you stop playing your Frost Mage right now and you picked it back up in BFA, you wouldn't even notice any changes made to your class and spec. The gameplay is the exact same, the rotation is the exact same as in current Legion. The only things that got changed are the talents, and we'll make a quick comparison between the current talent tree and the BFA talent tree. So like I said in the beginning of the video, Blizzard's solution to us losing artifact abilities, traits and legendaries is making them into a talent. This means that currently in the BFA Beta, on the 60 row talent, Even Bolt is a possible talent choice. The 60 talent row is completely changed with Frozen Touch now also giving Brain Freeze a 20% chance to activate, before this only used to be Fingers of Frost. Chain Reaction is a passive talent, but it's not to be confused with the passive Chain Reaction buff from Legion. When I did some testing, I personally found that Frozen Touch was the best pick gameplay wise. Blizzard intentionally added Brain Freeze into the Frozen Touch talent to break the horrible experience Frost Mages sometimes have, which is casting 10 Frostbolts in a row without getting a single proc. In Legion, Even Bolt was a big part of our rotation and our opener as well, so yeah, if it does turn out that Frozen Touch is the best pick, we are again losing a spell from our rotation. It always feels bad when you have to make choices in a talent tree, even more so when artifact abilities are among those choices. The next talent tier has changed from the Legion one is the 90 row talent, with this time our artifact trait, Freezing Rain, being a talent choice, together with Splitting Ice and Comet Storm. So yeah, again, Blizzard is taking the pace out of the gameplay, as I found Splitting Ice to be the best pick on this tier, which means you can say goodbye to instant casting Blizzard after a Frozen Orb. Besides these minor talent changes, Frost plays exactly the same as the Legion. Which brings us to the Fire Mage. The Fire Mage talents are by far the best example of how lazy ass the solution of Blizzard is on reworking or trying to rework a spec that evolved around having an artifact weapon and legendaries. First I thought it was a joke, but as we are getting closer and closer to the release date, I'm not sure if we are still getting trolled on or not. Why, you might ask? By not making any changes to a spec and simply making players choose between their favorite artifact ability and legendaries. So in terms of gameplay, again, no big changes. Your Fire Mage in BFA will play almost exactly the same as in Legion. To be completely honest, the talent choices you can make as a Fire Mage are pretty horrible, so let's go ahead and compare the new talents with the old ones. Starting with tier 15, Firestarter and Pyromaniac are still among your talent choices, however Conflagration dropped all the way down to the level 90 talent row. In general, Blizzard is trying to make this row the AoE tier. I'm talking about the 90 talent row here. So what has taken the place of Conflagration is our beloved legendary belt made into a talent. But because it's on the same tier as Firestarter and Pyromaniac, I'm not sure if it will see much play, maybe on high movement fights. Moving on to the next tier, where every Fire Mage is Flaming On. You see what I did there? I made a joke because Flame On is talent and it's Never mind, it's a bad joke. So yeah, in Legion, Flame On, Alexstrasza's Fury, and the never played talent Controlled Burn used to be on this talent tier. Controlled Burn is now removed, and freaking Phoenix Flames, our beloved artifact ability, has been reworked into a talent. Instead of Blizzard removing one dead talent, they created 2 new dead talents, because personally I don't think people will not take Phoenix Flames, which was a big part of their rotation, and take Alexstrasza's Fury or Flame On. Good job, Blizzard. On the 90 talent row, Conflagration has taken the spot of Unstable Magic, which is now removed. On the last tier, which is again Blizzard trolling the Fire Mage community by removing the dead talent Cinderstorm and putting our beloved legendary Bracers as a talent to take the place of Cinderstorm. So for the people who like hardcasting their Pyroblast for insane crits and love the Legion Fire Mage gameplay, there is slightly good news: you won't ever have to change your talents. Maybe Blizzard's goal with the Fire Mage was to create as much dead talents as possible. Who knows? Moving on to the last one, Arcane. The gameplay of Arcane has changed the most out of the 3 specs the mage has to offer. Blizzard didn't like the spammy gameplay of people spamming Arcane Explosions and using all of their abilities at the same time to do an insane amount of damage. Using Rune of Power, Charged Up, Arcane Power, Trinket, Presence of Mind, getting 3 Arcane Missile procs and just blowing up the damage meter. This made it a spec where making minor mistakes would result in huge DPS loss, and Blizzard was not a big fan of this type of gameplay. In the BFA Beta, Charged Up is on the global cooldown, which is horrible. You can't spam Arcane Explosion anymore, because when you get an Arcane Missile proc and you do decide to cast an Arcane Explosion, you simply lose your Arcane Missile proc. Blizzard's way of making sure you don't spam Arcane Explosions. I think that there is only one good change: your Arcane Missile damage is no longer influenced by your Arcane charges. Oh, and more good news, we lost Bark of Alunith, and no, it's not a possible talent choice. Okay, so let's compare the Legion talents with the BFA talents. Tier 15 has changed a little bit, Words of Power is gone, and the artifact trait Rule of Threes has taken its place. However, like the new Chain Reaction talent with the Frost Mage, the Rule of 3 is just a name and not an exact copy of what it used to do in Legion. The Rule of 3 talent makes it so when you gain your 3rd Arcane charge, your next Arcane Blast and Arcane Missiles will cost no mana. Yeah, newsflash, in BFA, Arcane Missiles are no longer free, and they do cost mana. Nonetheless, no major changes on this row, and you'll most likely play with Amplification anyways. Shouldn't you have noticed yet, for some weird reason, Blizzard decided to switch the position of talents on the same row, even if they are exactly the same as in Legion. Moving on to the 90 talent row, where Erosion used to be the #1 pick, but I found that through playing some dungeons, I really like Nether Tempest the most, but Erosion is still viable. It's the beta, so we'll still have to find out which build works the best. All I can say is that the gameplay is slower. In Legion I always feel like a missile firing turret, while in BFA it seems just so freaking slow. Okay, on to the final conclusion. Output wise, there is nothing wrong with the Mage in BFA. They are at a pretty good spot with Frost on top, followed by Arcane and Fire. Still, Arcane can do an insane amount of damage, but the pace in terms of gameplay has just disappeared thanks to Blizzard, who in general slowed down the gameplay across all of the 3 specs. Some people would say don't fix something if it's not broken. In my opinion, Frost is the only thing that doesn't feel broken, but Blizzard needs to take a second look at Fire and definitely Arcane. I raided with the Mage for almost 2 years in Legion, and I played all of the 3 specs, but with the Mage hardly seeing any changes, talent choices looking horrible for Frost and more especially for Fire, results in me not playing the Mage as a main for BFA. I'm someone that loves min-maxing, finding the perfect rotation and doing some tier crafting on the things that have changed, but I'm not going to play a Mage in BFA if it's just an exact copy of the Legion Mage, and I hope most people do agree with me. I know most people that I raided with who did main a Mage during Legion are pretty sure they won't play a Mage in BFA, because it's more of the same with suckier gameplay and it just feels so boring. Therefore, I'm 100% sure that the Mage will not be the perfect main for the new expansion. That's the first video done of this series, finding the perfect main for BFA. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, like this video if you liked it, and of course don't forget to subscribe. For the people that are subscribed, click on the bell icon next to the subscriber button, that way you'll automatically get notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time!